Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please take your seats at this time as the program will begin momentarily.
When doing scientific research, the question often arises, what to research? Generally, you have to carry out your scientific research within the context you work in. Your research will have to fit the mission of your organization, the equipment and funding available to you, and most importantly, what you bring to the table, your own skills, knowledge and interest. But that still leaves a vast area of opportunities to research. Especially if you're starting out as a junior researcher after graduation, you are often expected to start setting up your own research specialism. So how do you go from here? Research is to a certain extent not an isolated activity. In almost any organization, your research must serve a purpose and fit within its mission. It must add value. This could mean creating profit, or enhancing your reputation for your organization, or to meet a societal need that your organization has committed itself to. Next to that, research inevitably costs money. As you would like to be paid for working as a researcher, and most experiments require equipment and materials, you must take funding into account in terms of what's available to you in your context. Thankfully, society as a whole values scientific research and enables it in many ways. It has questions that it would like scientific research to answer. These questions tend to shape your research landscape in many different ways. Firstly, there's market-driven research, which is often the research that happens within the research and development departments of larger companies. Focusing on developing new products and processes to bring to market to add value to the company. Research tends to be very focused on time to market and less on adding to the body of science. Your research area is often determined by the strategy of the company. However, if you're able to see where the next new value is coming from, you can create a niche for yourself. Also, companies sometimes outsource some of their research to independent research organizations for verification or regulatory purposes, or because it's outside their own direct in-house expertise. In addition, other outside parties, not able to do scientific research themselves, also contract out research. These can be commercial parties, but also lower levels of government and NGOs. These are often smaller research projects which are time limited. Typically, funding is limited with high expectations on the outcome by the client. But it can be a way to organize and develop your research specialty by gathering similar projects and becoming a specialist. Their needs can often be predicted by looking at changes in regulations, unexpected events, and the emergence of new research areas. Secondly, there's free research, i.e. research without concrete expectations with regard to its outcomes within academic institutions other than that of growing scientific reputation. Depending on where in the world you are located, certain universities receive funding to do research without any immediate demands on the outcome. This type of research really looks at studying the fundamentals of science and is aimed at new discoveries and development of new theories. As this research will only add value to society in the long term, it is often not commercially funded. As a young researcher, you will generally work under the direction of a renowned academic with various levels of freedom to develop your own ideas. A step up from this are larger and wider societal issues and national strategic issues that need researching. Think for instance of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. These topics tend to be funded by governments such as the National Science Foundation in the United States of America and international collaborations between countries such as the European Union and the United Nations, who put out requests for proposals for research. This type of research varies from very applied short-term research to multi-year research projects with less predetermined expectations on the outcome. Many PhD positions at universities are funded this way, as is most research at independent research institutes. Studying the needs of the funders of research can help you carve out your own research line and pick your research direction. If there is a need for your research, funding, after writing many research proposals, will eventually follow. This is why being able to write a good research proposal is so important. You will need to sell your research, whether you like it or not. When writing these research proposals, you want to narrow it down further. What will you add to the body of science that is not already there or being developed by others as we speak? And what do you bring to the table that sets you apart from others in the field? Why should you be given the funding? So the next step is to critically look at your field. Map out what has already been done and identify areas where you can improve, confirm or further develop findings so far. This does not mean that you can never research or develop projects that have not been done before. But you must be able to argue why replicating a study adds value, or why you are researching and developing the same project at the same time as others.